Okay, 3, 2, and 1. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome back to Fictionally Unstable, because real life's not dramatic enough.
With your hosts, Jessica,
Maciel,
And Lauren.
Should I still introduce us?
No, you can just say welcome back.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome back to my channel.
Hey, girl.
Hey. All right. Hey, everyone. Today we are going to be discussing the book Phantasma by Kaylie Smith. As of right now, this is like I don't know if you'd call it a duology, but the first book is about one sister named Ophelia Graham, and then the second book named Enchantra, which I think we are going to have an episode on in November, is about the other sister, Genevieve Grimm. But today we're discussing Phantasma, and just as a quick overview of what the story is about, it follows a young woman named Ophelia Grimm who is a necromancer, and pretty much has a family history of being involved with the paranormal. In order to find her sister, she goes to a place called Phantasma, where she undergoes multiple trials. The winner of Phantasma gets granted a wish. Although Ophelia's original goal was to just get past trial 7 to see if her sister was there and if she could bring her back. Mm-hmm. In the process, she encounters a phantom named Blackwell who kind of helps her along the way. She uncovers like some family secrets and yada yada yada, and yeah, that's kind of the gist of what it is about. Anything to add?
I was looking up when it was released. I would say it's fairly new. It was released last year. From what Google says, September 3rd, 2024.
Oh, okay. I thought it was at least 2 or 3 years old, but cool. All right, so relatively new. And then I guess was the second one released earlier this year, maybe? I think it maybe was.
Enchantra?
Yeah.
Enchantra was April 8th of this year.
Okay. Yeah.
So new.
So a relatively new series. Let's give our ratings and I guess just our overall initial thoughts of the book as a whole. Lauren.
Let me look at my thorough notes here.
Okay. Maciel?
I think I'm going to give it a 3.75.
We rate books out of 5, by the way.
Yes. I liked how when it was described to me, it was like a dark romance tied with a side of like, think of Hunger Games type of ordeal.
Yes.
And I really like that. So I really like what Phantasma is, the whole games and all that. Mm-hmm. I think it kind of fell short with the romance piece to it. So, and a lot of the book was the romance side of it. I kind of wish there was more time in the game. So, for me, it was okay. It was better than I had expected, but I can't give it more than that because of that. But I'm kind of hoping Enchantra will be better. Okay. Like I'm looking forward to the second book, because of the whole storyline. Yeah. I just hope that it's not, I just hope they don't go backwards and it's only, whatever the second book is supposed to be about. I know it's about Genevieve, but I'm sure she's going to have a love interest and whatnot. So,
she said when she came and met Ophelia that she was jealous that she didn't have any romantic connection. So there might not be as much romance in her side. Yeah,
I hope not.
I'm wondering, I have no idea what Enchantra is about, but I'm almost wondering if Genevieve re-enters Phantasma.
Oh, like this isn't a...
Like, it's not her point of view of what's happening at the same time as Ophelia, but I am not sure.
Because she gets pushed out of it from her sister.
That wouldn't make sense because of how it ends, so...
Technically, Phantasma is done, right?
Yeah. All right.
We'll see. We'll have to see.
We're all going to be surprised. All right, Lauren, your rating and thought.
I gave it a 3.7. I I really liked the basis of it. I liked the trials. I thought the story was very cool. I agree. I would have liked more of the trials and the levels expanded versus their romance, because their romance was very surface level, but then all of a sudden it was like, we're in love.
And we're banging.
But I love Dante's Inferno, and I love stories that take from Dante's Inferno, so I liked that portion. But like with the trials, they were kind of all just one chapter per trial. So I would have liked if they spread them out more.
I see. Yeah. Over maybe like a little bit more detailed in what was going on.
Yeah.
Besides level 4, because that had a lot of detail. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I will give it a 4. I overall really liked the story. I thought the writing was decent, except the sex parts. I was like, ew. I didn't like the way that was written. But yeah, I agree with you guys that the romance side of things was a little bit lackluster. That's why I'm knocking it down 1 star. But I think the overall like story idea and stuff like that was very creative, and I liked it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I tried not to compare it, but I have to. When we read Fourth Wing, when they were going through their trials, like how descriptive it was, and you can immerse yourself in the world and whatnot. You can't do that with 1 chapter, a short chapter, if anything. Fourth Wing was maybe 1 chapter, but the way Rebecca Yarros is so descriptive, it's easier to digest and understand and like be in, process everything. In this one, it was just like, this is the idea, so run with it. And then, she gets out or she doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just kind of go through, I'll do my best to condense it as much as possible, but maybe I'll go through like 10 chapters at a time, and then we can have a discussion on those 10 chapters.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the first chapter, we meet Ophelia Grimm, who is taking a heart-shaped locket from her mother's corpse that is lying on the floor of the Grimm house, the Grimm Manor. She's performing some sort of ritual to get her mother's magic passed on to her in order to continue the Grimm legacy. It becomes apparent that Ophelia has some type of OCD. She completes the ritual while her younger sister, Genevieve, watches. In the next chapter, we find out that she comes from a family of necromancers, and she studied all sorts of paranormal creatures. So that's going to really help her kind of like in her knowledge, or her knowledge is going to help her later in the story, essentially. And now her new magic that she kind of transferred onto herself allows her to see ghosts and things like that. Ophelia and Genevieve take their mother to the coroner and say their goodbyes. We learn more about how Genevieve had a free childhood while Ophelia was stuck inside learning the family business. Ophelia hears a shadow voice that tells her to do certain things or a bad thing will happen. And that's something called her shadow voice, which is kind of a physical manifestation or a physical voice representation of her OCD, of her anxiety and OCD. In chapter 3, Ophelia and Genevieve are walking down the street. Ophelia immediately notices the air is somewhat ominous, and she has this sense of urgency to get home. Genevieve stops by a cafe to say hi to some friends. Ophelia is kind of jealous and a little bit unsure at this point. There's this whole part to her sister's life that she didn't know about. When Genevieve leaves to go to the cafe, Ophelia encounters an apparition. And some guys are talking about some guy named Pharaoh Henry, who asked Genevieve on a date while back, stood her up, in which she had sexual relations with his best friend the next day after that as revenge. And I was like, period, Genevieve.
Genevieve is that girl.
She is that girl. She was like, yeah.
She's living her life.
She's living her life. They continue on their way back home when Ophelia sees more apparitions and starts to get more anxious. In the next chapter, the girls awaken to someone knocking at their door. It's these, I guess you would call them bankers, claiming there's something wrong with their mother's finances and potentially the estate. Genevieve seemed to want to go talk to the bankers alone, but they both go, passing by a crowd of people gathering in town around something. We don't know what that is yet. Chapter 5, Ophelia gets told the house is being foreclosed on in a month. Payments haven't been made in a while. She realized the signature on some of the checks were off, realizing they were forged. So immediately Ophelia is a little bit skeptical on what's going on. Ophelia and Genevieve have a fight. We figure out that Genevieve was the one that forged some of the checks and didn't disclose where she got the money for it. And then Genevieve, after their fight, Genevieve, I guess you would say, runs away, but she disappears. So we don't know where she's gone yet. Surprise, it's Phantasma, in case you didn't catch the overview. So in the next chapter, while on her way home, Ophelia gets lured into what she thought was like some old cathedral grounds. She comes across a peculiar presence of someone that she could only hear and feel energy from, but not physically see. In her perspective, it's a man and he's trapped somehow on these grounds. She realizes she stumbled across the Devil's Manor Phantasma. She asks how she can help him escape, and as she leaves, he says, "A heart and a key would set me free." Chapter 7, Ophelia makes it back home after she has some sort of anxiety attack. She's like fucking running up the hill because like her shadow voice is telling her if she doesn't make it home in 5 minutes, like someone in her family's gonna die or something.
5, 4,
3, 2. She's like, okay. And after that day, she goes to sleep and she wakes up to realize that Genevieve is still gone. So at this point, she's like, something's wrong. She reads a note that was left for her saying she will be back in 2 weeks. So Genevieve wrote a note saying she will be back in 2 weeks. Ophelia rummages through Genevieve's room, so she snoops around and realizes Genevieve's been researching Phantasma and assumes that she went there. She also finds a diary entry that says how Genevieve is close to finding out about some man named Gabriel. So we're like, who the fuck is that? Don't know. Phantasma apparently has all the answers. So we're going there, everybody. So Ophelia decides to enter Phantasma. The locket that she got from her mother is like, has this like some sort of warming, pulsing sensation. So she realizes this locket keeps kind of pulling or having this sensation every time she's close to the manor. So she gets there, and in order to enter, they have to take a memory of one of their deepest fears, and they do. Contestants are allowed to leave anytime so long as they are not participating in a trial, is what it says.
That's correct. They can't go in a... I thought they can't... They have to complete the trial. No, because some people
they would call upon a devil if they basically wanted to forfeit.
Yeah.
I don't know if in the level they would say that line of I surrender to Phantasma or whatever, but they would call on a devil if they wanted to forfeit.
That's right.
I think like if you're outside of a trial, you can leave any time without giving something in return. But I think if you forfeit while in a game, you have to make a deal with the devil.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's the devil that the level is associated with.
Yes. So they can't leave without some sort of caveat to them getting out. And as Ophelia's mother has told her entire life, don't make deals with devils. It'll only bring trouble. So not exactly what you want to do.
I mean, she did it anyway.
She did it anyway. Okay. In chapter 9, Ophelia enters Phantasma and she joins the last group. So in Phantasma, there's like multiple groups and there's a certain amount of contestants per group. Each group cannot meet each other until after trial 7. So that's when they can kind of explore outside of their wing and find other people. We get introduced to some other characters, like some guy named Cade, who's a big-ass bully and is bullying her, essentially, until his cousin...
Creating beef with her.
Yeah, creating beef with her for no reason. Like a Jack Barlow type situation. Until his cousin, Lucy, steps in to stop him. Ophelia gets assigned to her room, and while rummaging through the bookcase, opens a secret passage. A ghost cat enters her room and then runs into the secret passage, beckoning her to follow. Her locket is also pulsing and telling her to enter. So she's like, okay, I'm just going to enter this weird secret passage in here. She enters until she hears her shadow voice saying that something will get her. She looks down the passage and sees blood red eyes, and then she starts running back, barely making it without some sort of gray mottled claws grabbing her. When she opens the passage back up to get her dress unstuck, it has now become a broom closet. I think that's what happens.
It did.
Yeah. And then by chapter 10, Ophelia encounters a phantom and immediately recognizes him as the stranger from that night that she thought was stuck on the grounds. He doesn't remember, though, as his memories are complicated. We don't know much about that yet at this time. Thoughts on the first 10 chapters? What did we think while we were reading this?
I really liked how they started the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I feel like they gave us just enough before we enter Phantasma.
Mhm.
So the rest of the book is all in Phantasma. So I enjoy that because that's where it's all, the name of the book.
The main setting.
Yeah. So they give you just enough to understand why she went there.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know anything about Genevieve, but it's not her book. So Ophelia is like, well, I need to go find my sister. I bet she's here. So this is why I'm going to enter in. And it was pretty quick, the first 10 chapters.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I did like it. I thought the bankers were fucking pieces of shit. I literally was like,
They're
what
like,
the
hey,
hell?
your mom just died, but by the way, we need money. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally next day.
yeah.
I agree. I like the setup of it. I like that it gave enough of setup of like where they were, what time era it was, like in New Orleans.
Yes. And we can tell it's some sort of, I don't know how far in the past it is, but we can tell it's not present day.
Right.
Right.
It's like at least, I mean, they had to walk most places or take a...
Or there were like carriages.
Yeah, like carriage type vehicle. I did have a couple quotes. There were a couple quotes mainly from Genevieve that I liked in the beginning. Because I thought she was funny. In chapter 4, when it was like right after their mom had passed. And I think it's the bankers. Yeah, the bankers come to the door and Genevieve says, who in the unholy fuck is knocking on people's doors this early in the morning? Our mother is no longer here to take appointments. If you have a dead relative, you're just going to have to suffer like the rest of us.
Oh, God.
And then the other one, I think is in the same chapter. It was after the bankers came and then a woman came to the door and was like, hello, I have an appointment with Tessie Grimm. And Genevieve looks at the woman and goes, she's dead. And then the lady goes,
FYI.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I just spoken to her the other day. Genevieve goes, so did we.
No.
I can't.
Genevieve keeps it real.
Which is why I would look forward to her book because I think she's funny.
Yeah. Which is why I wrote that snippet about that guy, Faro Henry, standing her up. And she was like, well, I'm going to go sleep with your best friend now.
Yeah.
On the parade float.
Yeah.
So
She's really looking for her sister to have a normal life because her sister fell into the whole necromancy thing. Like she's the next heir, I guess you could say, for it. But she's like, you don't actually have to take all that power. Like, just live a normal life, which she
like
already lives carefree.
We can sell the house and go live whatever life we want to live.
Right. Exactly. So chapter 11, Ophelia is in Phantasma. She goes to sleep. She wakes up the next morning to a ghoul coming out of a pool of blood in her bathroom. That's going to give me nightmares. Okay. In panic, she goes through her bedroom door and enters some sort of black abyss. And in this black abyss, she hears like a bunch of whispers. She falls for a while and ends up falling through the ceiling of
The
Wow.
dining.
all my notes are like incomplete. But anyway, she falls she falls for a while and she ends up falling through the ceiling of her room where the phantom Blackwell is. He asks her how she found this room, but she doesn't know. When she describes how she got there, he tells her she went through the Whispering Gate, so that's what she was hearing. He says no mortal should be able to summon the Whispering Gate, but somehow she was able to. She then explains that she's a necromancer and is looking for her sister after her sister ran off here to find someone named Gabriel. We kind of get an idea that this phantom his eyes kind of light up, and he has like some sort of interest now because of the things she's saying, the name she's saying. It's all like kind of familiar to him. He offers his help to get her to level 7. So he's intrigued by her. He's like, I'll help you out. And I'll help you get to level 7. She says she offered to help him last time, and he was shocked before saying that she's the person he's been looking for. So they reveal each other's names, and we find out that the Phantom's name is Blackwell. So there's some sort of connection, essentially, between them. We don't know what that is yet. In chapter 12, Blackwell offers to help Ophelia make it to level 7 in exchange for a blood bargain. However, she is hesitant, with good reason. Who makes a blood bargain? Okay,
with a
ghost.
The Phantom.
Yeah. He kind of entices her by saying that he can help clean up any haunts outside the trials. The trials she has to work on herself, but he can help assist, right? So he can't necessarily physically help her, but he can aid her in some way. They get back to Ophelia's room, where he cleans up the last haunt to prove to her of his powers. So the bloody mess that was left around by that last school, he cleans it all up for her. She asks if he wants the heart and key in return, but he doesn't remember saying that. When she explains what he said that night, he is shocked to find out that they met when he had a moment of clarity from his bad memory. He explains he's trapped in Phantasma for an eternity until he can find what tethers him to this place. He wants her help because of her abilities. Obviously, her being a necromancer will help give her advantage in the trials and just help her be able to search around Phantasma in general. So that's why he's intrigued by her. Ophelia ends up going through with the blood bargain, and he says that his payment, if she doesn't complete the bargain, is in the form of 1 decade of her life if she fails. So if she's unable to set him free by finding the heart and the key, he's going to take 10 years off of her life.
How old is she when she starts this again? She's like
28, 27.
Oh, yeah. Like late 20s, right?
Yeah.
I thought she was 25.
I think Genevieve is younger than her. I think she's like 24 or 25, and I'm pretty sure.
I like an older FMC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't like
a decade off your age. You're young. You're fine.
Well, then to her point, though, she was like, what if I'm supposed to die like in a year? He's like, well, we'll find out.
Then you'll be dead.
Then it doesn't matter anyways.
Also, I did highlight the height differences between them too, because I was like, this is important in fantasy, because she's normally so petite and he's very tall.
Yes.
But she is 5'11" and he has only about 3.5 inches on her.
Yeah. So 6'2".
Yay.
Okay, tall girl.
Realistic.
A tall, older FMC. All right. So yes, they do the blood bargain next chapter, chapter 13. Ophelia makes her way to the dining room to eat before the first trial. She has some interactions with other players, including Lucy, who she met earlier, and then Eric, the son of some tobacco plant owner, and James, some middle-aged man. A devil named Zell interrupts their dinner to explain their trials, and he gives them their first riddle regarding the first trial. They can choose to forfeit the game and not enter, but once they enter the trial, they can only leave by winning, bargaining, or dying.
That makes sense. Okay.
Their names are called, and they step through a portal to enter the first trial.
Do we remember what the riddle was?
No, I didn't write these down, but I'm sure we can look them up.
Yeah. I'll find it after you do the next one.
Okay. Well, this is the trial, so I feel like we should give the riddle first.
Hold on.
Like, wait, they can see.
Or Lauren finds it before me. Chapter
13.
Yeah.
13.
Also, really quick, before we talk about this trial, because it just popped in my head, the outfit
choices. Okay, granted, they are set in what sounds to be like the early 1900s.
Possibly 1800s?
Also, I have it. You don't have to keep looking.
Okay. But she's wearing this long dress, like corset top type, like gothic looking dress. It reminds me of you guys didn't watch it, Vampire Diaries?
I don't watch Vampire Diaries.
Okay, well, when they go back to early, I think it was early 1900s, the women would be wearing these like corset top dresses, flowy bottoms. Anyways, whatever. The dress does not help her. Also, she's not 9'11". Whoa. She is 5'11", and the girl is not wearing the proper clothing to go into these trials.
Right.
And it always comes up that she has to run and
Gathers
pick up
her
and
skirt.
Yes. And it made me very angry.
Like, let's wear pants, Miss Girl. After getting your dress caught in the scary passageway, I would think you would try to make...
Right. Just cut it off.
Just cut it off. Make it shorter. I don't care.
Okay, the first clue for level 1. In deepening light where senses fade, a labyrinth vast, a daunting maze. No sight, no sound, no touch to guide. Navigate true or be crushed inside. Beware the beast within the heart and find the door back to start.
Yeah. I found most of these riddles were pretty straightforward.
Yeah, they weren't like too much having... But the only issue is that like you can't write it down.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm like,
you're
you're in a maze, there's a beast inside, it's going to shift around.
Yeah.
Yep, and find the right path.
Yeah.
The only thing probably couldn't prepare for was taking away the senses, which we'll get to.
Yes. Yes. So let me give an overview and then we can talk more in depth about it. But this first trial represents limbo. So it's a maze where I guess their only sense at first is sight, right? But as time goes on, the light keeps dimming until it will eventually become dark. We also find out that the walls are shifting and closing in. Ophelia makes it to the center of the maze to find some hellhound guarding the exit and realizes that it will wake once it's touched. So as soon as someone tries to go through the gate, the hellhound will wake up, essentially screwing everybody else over. Cade, the bully, and his friend end up getting to the exit, awakening the hound, who then sees her and starts to chase after her. During the chase, she runs into another player who she helps. She's like, come on, let's fucking go. She uses her magic to distract the hound, and the two of them manage to escape. And that's kind of the gist of what happens in the trial.
Yeah. And she's really mad that they did not wait for other people.
Yeah.
I would be mad too.
Yeah. So like, give me 2 seconds, man.
Which it is in Cade's personality to not give a fuck about anybody else. He's there for himself. Like, obviously, he wants to be the winner. So, like, it's not in his best interest to keep as many people alive as possible. Whereas, like, if you think about Ophelia's goal is just to make it so that she can see her sister.
Yeah.
You know, so her goals and ideas of what she wants out of entering Phantasma is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was curious. I pulled up Dante's Inferno, Circles of Hell, because I wanted to see how they correlate. In his, limbo is the souls of pagans and the unbaptized wander the caves of limbo in loneliness with the desperation to meet God. So I guess it represents like loneliness. I was just curious how each one correlates.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see in other trials, like, the contestants enter in areas where they're next to each other, like where they're kind of fighting. I can't say fighting the trials with each other, but you are close to each other. Whereas this one, you start off like everybody's just obviously in their own section of the maze. So no one knows where anybody is.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this trial? Do you guys think you would survive it if I was the first one to make it there?
Yeah. I don't know how far I would make it if I had some freaking hound thing coming at me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, too, because if your senses are taken away, like, I don't know if that would distract me right away. And then you kind of miss your chance.
Yeah.
Probably get smushed by a wall.
Which, how does she find her way through? Is it just by pure luck? Or wasn't she, like,
I think
doing something to, like...
Was it her necklace? Was, like, kind of guiding her?
Yeah, it's like, it goes warm right?
Hot or cold.
Yeah, like if she's going in the right direction. So she technically has like an advantage
She has a lot of advantages.
Yeah.
Like she can use magic. She has this like magic locket that can like tell her when she's making the right decision. Like, who needs Blackwell? Just needs the locket. Well, the point is that she escapes. Chapter 15. After the trial, Ophelia enters the dining room to find Cade and Beau, who is the friend he escaped with, eating. They have like an altercation, and during this altercation, when they're fighting, a part of her body turns transparent in like self-defense, and Cade accuses her of being a demon, who's also working in Phantasma. A fight breaks out, and Blackwell helps save her. They enter the hallway only to find a large serpent. She awaits Blackwell's signal, but never hears it, and then she breaks out into a sprint. So there's like this large serpent in the hallway. It's part of the haunts that happen outside of the trial. So snakes are somebody's biggest fear. It's one of the contestants' biggest fear. Her and Blackwell kind of like freeze. But because Blackwell is like a phantom and he can kind of like fade in and out of like his corporeal or whatever the fuck form it's called, he tells Ophelia to wait there, wait for his signal, don't fucking move. But she was kind of impatient and she starts running away.
She thought he left her. So she's like, he's not giving me a signal. He's not giving me a signal. Well, no, duh, bitch, because he said wait.
Yeah. So she runs. The serpent ends up catching up to her and she kind of tries to fight it, but eventually it pierces her shoulder with its fangs. So she's injured at this point. In the next chapter, Ophelia fights the snake and manages to make it disappear by plunging a sword into it. She like pulls a sword out from like a statue or something next to her and stabs it. Yes, stabs it. She thinks she hears and sees Genevieve, even though we all know that we don't get to meet other contestants until after trial 7, but she thinks she hears and sees Genevieve and starts to follow her. As she closes in on her, she's about to pass out, and someone, assuming Blackwell, picks her up and takes her back to her room. So she was almost possessed. Hello? It was a poltergeist, I think, that was trying to lure her and possess her.
Because poltergeists take the form of, well, we had that little thing in the beginning. I can pull it up.
You guys would probably know better than me.
I can pull it
being into horror.
They had
like a breakdown of it in the beginning of the book.
It was goals.
So hierarchy. So phantoms, most corporeal and powerful type of ghosts. Poltergeists, a type of ghost able to possess the corporeal vessel of another being. Apparitions, most common type of ghost, completely non-corporeal, and if left lingering on any corporeal plane for too long without crossing over, can deteriorate into a ghoul. Ghoul is an apparition that has deteriorated into a numb, mindless entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like a zombie.
Yeah. Which they made it extra, what do you call it? They made it extra apparent that Blackwell is a phantom and she has a corporeal form, a solid form, which meaning that she can fuck the phantom. Okay. I feel like they made it very obvious and like drilled into your brain that yes, this is possible. Like,
so okay, poltergeist is only takes on a corporeal form if it possesses somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Trying to track. Okay.
Apparition is like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and then ghouls are like.
So we'll get to these scenes, but this whole time, as I was trying to put a vision in my head of this book, especially during their like romance scenes, even their sex scenes, I was picturing him like as Casper the Friendly Ghost the whole time. Just like an outline of like blue and then her as a person. And I was like, she's literally fucking a ghost.
In my mind, he's Danny Phantom.
I was picturing Danny Phantom because you said that.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, Danny Phantom
basically
literally
a-
has white hair and green eyes.
yeah, basically like a person, but like kind of has a glow around them. I
Yes.
guess.
Oh, no, mine was like he's translucent and she's a full ass human. Okay, anyways.
All right. Okay. In chapter 17, Ophelia wakes to Blackwell sitting in her bedroom. He tells her she almost got possessed by a poltergeist that would have taken her soul. And then, I'm sorry, this is when she decides to make the blood bargain with Blackwell. And once the blood bargain happens, he helps heal her. In the next chapter, Blackwell and Ophelia enter the passage that haunted her the first night. Blackwell explains he doesn't know what's keeping him at Phantasma and that most of his contestants have won. So he's kind of bragging. He's like, yeah, most of my contestants have won Phantasma. They have like whatever their flirty encounters and etc. And they get to the end of the passage to find a broom closet. She imagines where she wants to go next and reopens the door only to find themselves there. I don't know where that is.
There.
Like, hello?
Am I sure these are my notes?
I'm so sorry. Which chapter was that on?
That was on 18.
18. Like, what the fuck is there? The parlor? The bar? The something? Hold on, let me go back. Oh, okay. I see what I was trying to say. So when she tried to open the passage originally, it was just the broom closet.
Yes.
But then Blackwell tells her, well, like, imagine where you want to go. And so then she reopens it and then...
Believe in yourself.
Yes, believe in yourself. And then when she reopens it, it's the same passage that haunted her the first night.
Yes. There.
Got it. She finds herself there. I was like, where the fuck is there? All right, this must have been late at night. Chapter 19. Ophelia and Blackwell continue their search and they go down this passage only to end up in the library. They have like some sort of bond or whatever the fuck they're doing, their romance or whatever. And the devil who let Ophelia in, Jasper, appears. He has a devil's mark, which is a third eye, and then he starts to bother them, claiming Blackwell has done lustful things to other contestants, and Blackwell admits there was one other contestant he kissed, but no one else, which apparently that's
jealous.
important right now, even though they've known each other only for one day.
Focus.
Focus, Miss Greyro. All right, and then we get to chapter 20, which starts trial 2.
Yes.
So this second trial represents lust. This was a crazy chapter. I was like, what the fuck? It's pretty much a giant orgy going on. So Ophelia walks into the dining hall. People are questioning if she's a demon. Cade hits her in the face, causing her to get a split lip. And when she splits her lip, she starts to bleed and her blood is red. So she's like, there's this proof of my mortality for you. And so then the other contestants around her come to defend her. She's like, she's human, like her blood is red. Mm-hmm. The devil of Lestrima comes in to announce her next trial. A contestant makes a lewd comment about this devil and she makes his mouth disappear. So he literally can't talk anymore.
Yep.
Clue.
Riddle for level 2. In a realm of desire, illusions, and thrall, contestants beware lest you succumb to their call. Amongst the lustful vices, you must pick only one. When the first bell tolls, the trial has begun. Before the fourth chime, the truth you must find, and the key to your freedom beneath a bed lies.
Okay.
That one would have got me. I'd been like,
Girl, I would have been like, what? Okay.
Please repeat the question.
Yeah. They're like, no. Important to also note, which I didn't write down, is that so her and Blackwell have the blood bargain now. So she's supposed to help find the key to set him free. And then during the trials, if she wants to summon him to help, she has to say his name 3 times.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Blackwell, Blackwell, Blackwell. So just an important note there. So Ophelia enters the portal to trial 2, only to find herself in a room full of gems and beds and people doing a wide range of sexual activity on these beds. So
Yeah, she's just walking a big orgy. People fucking.
Big orgy.
pretty
And
much.
she's like,
And Ophelia, what? She's only had one sexual encounter her entire life, and it was shitty. Yeah. So she's kind of like looking around when a waiter enters and tells her to pick a drink. They're pretty much like different colored potions, and she decides to pick a red one. She drinks it and feels some type of like euphoria or high or something. And then she's lured to sit on a bed by a woman, and aerial performers start to perform a show, whatever is going on over there. A crowd gathers, and one of the people in the crowd plunges a knife into a performer's throat as the others crowd around like vampires. Just as the woman was about to bite Ophelia, she was interrupted by a stranger asking her to go with him instead. The stranger... oh, shit. Okay. The stranger appears to be Blackwell and gives her an antidote to make her feel less fuzzy. He states she needs to satisfy this type of the type of lust she chose, which is bloodlust, hence the red vial of liquid she drank. And he convinces her to drink each other's blood. Just as he was about to drink her blood, she remembers that she never summoned Blackwell, so she never said his name 3 times. And as the stranger kisses her, she realizes it wasn't him and shoves the stranger off. I think it was because he's like cold or something.
Yeah, she said his kiss was very like hard and cold and not what she would have pictured.
Right. Because I think when they were like in the passage, she could feel his presence, and he gave off more of like a warm feeling. So I think that kind of made her realize it wasn't the same person.
this ghost gave her a warm feeling.
Yeah, somehow.
I have this. I'm freaking freezing. I'm like, it's all the ghost in here.
The real Blackwell appears after she says his name 3 times unintentionally during their entire encounter with the stranger. So during her encounter with the stranger, she's like saying his name. So she accidentally says it, ends up saying it 3 times. So that's what makes him come into the trial. They search for the exit door that is hidden beneath one of the beds all the couples are on, and she must leave before the 4th bell chime. They end up finding it, and Blackwell helps her through pretty much.
Yeah. It was like lying under like or the bed that it was on was like this one lone guy, I remember. And he was like pulling her in or something.
Yeah.
He comes up and rescues her and they go away.
Yeah. He was like trying to entice her. Crazy trial. I could definitely survive this one, but I'd be disgusted probably. in the meantime. I am wondering like what the other potions would have.
They didn't say it, right?
They didn't say. Yeah, like what that would have entailed.
And secretly she has some kind of blood fetish, apparently.
Which we'll get to later because, I was like, that's disgusting.
Calling her from the moment she went in there.
Yeah. My initial thought, I was like, you're stupid. Like, one of the things he drilled into your brain was that you need to say his name 3 times.
And that's like, every fucking level.
Summon
me right away.
Summon him right away. And what does she do? She doesn't do that. So I was like, Anyway. Would I have done things differently? Yes, I would have. Anything
else? Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. This is her second one that she's finally tied to him.
Yeah. She's dealing with a lot of skirts, okay?
That.
And blood-sucking orgy vampires.
Yeah. I will say it's annoying that, because then we'll see that she, never summons him. But in this one, at least she was smart to pay attention to that the, what is it? The vampire or whatever the hell that was pulling her, that was disguised as him, as Blackwell. She was like, wait, this isn't him.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because obviously this trial represents lust. So
it's her most lustful.
It's her she's lusting after Blackwell already because obviously he's hot or whatever. He's some hot ghost. So it's like a physical manifestation of what she's lusting after in the moment. But Miss
Do you think
Girl.
when he sees it, he's like, "Oh, she likes me"?
Oh well, he
He's like,
mentions it later.
He's like, what? Well, he tells her like it pulls your most lustful desire, the person, and he's like, it's me.
He's like, "It's me, baby."
And did he say like the guy was like saying some cringy things to her, and he's like, I would never fucking say that. And he's like, I would kiss you a hell of a lot better than that, or something like that. It's like, that's an insult. Anyway, yeah. Chapter 21. Ophelia goes back to her room, and her and Blackwell have another flirtatious encounter. After he calms her through an anxiety attack, he feels her split lip and tells Blackwell that Cade did it to her, and then Blackwell disappears. Ophelia rummages through the library and then finds Lucy and then Leon coming in. Leon is the kid she saved in the maze, so Lucy and Leon are kind of walking into the library together. Lucy admits she's Genevieve's friend, but didn't know she was planning on entering Phantasma, and then Lucy and Leon leave the library. Ophelia feels through the bookshelves and finds a square button, but is interrupted by the devil Jasper. He suggests making a deal that's better than Blackwell's, but was interrupted by the two devils that introduced the previous trials, Zell and Dreama, suddenly crashing into the room, and they're just like making out with no clothes on. So they just pop into the room and they're going at it. And Miss Girl over here is like getting hot and bothered, and she like wants to like watch at the same time. Yeah.
Jasper's also the phantom that was at the gates.
The devil.
Yeah,
or
he's
the
the one
devil,
that lets
excuse me.
them in.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he's the one that pulls the secrets, the main fear from each of them.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
He has multiple jobs. So anyway, she somehow gets past her desire to continue watching them, and she presses the button on the bookshelf only to be turned around to a dark room. Anxiety kicks in, and she calls for Blackwell, and he comes to her with Cade's blood on his clothes. So we know that he's hurt Cade in some way. He's showing some sort of protectiveness over here, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And she did mention that he can obviously change his clothes whenever he wants. So he opted to leave it there so she could see.
He came to make a statement. He was like, look what I did for you. Now give me your body.
Now let me snap your clothes off.
Yeah.
Snap my fingers and your clothes vanish.
Chapter 22. Ophelia and Blackwell explore this room behind the library. They find out that there's like holes in the wall, and I guess bricks are they're bricks,
like
but they're marked with
buttons.
numbers.
Yeah, and it's like you can push them in.
Yes. So they find out that they have to click them in order. And so they do so, and they reveal a small passage. Before they make it to the passage, acid starts pouring down, and Blackwell rushes Ophelia to the opening to escape. He saves her by pulling her through the passage to the next room and then removing all her clothes with the acid on them before they burn her.
Mm-hmm.
How
you have to get your
convenient,
clothes
huh?
off.
The acid was a wingman.
He's like,
All the layers.
yeah, all of them, every single one.
What's it called? The chemise doesn't come off till later. But anyway.
The sheet.
Jemmies.
The chemise.
Jemmies.
The candelabra. This is where he starts to feel bad to allow her to almost be hurt, telling her that each time he allows her to get hurt, the bond unravels, and eventually, if it happens enough times, he won't be able to hear her calls for him anymore. So their bargain or bond or whatever will weaken. They kiss and they have a spicy encounter where Blackwell shows her what real pleasure is like.
I literally read that sentence and I was like, ew.
They literally dry hump.
Yep.
He pretty much makes her climax and orgasm just through dry humping, which is crazy. After their escapade, Ophelia finds the words "and Gabriel forever" etched into the floor of this hidden room. So she's like, what the fuck? That's the name that my sister was, that's the name of the person my sister's trying to find. So what the fuck does this all mean? And that's the end of that. I think this is where we find out that he can just like also shift them into different positions. He's like,
yeah. But it makes her
transporting her.
It makes her dizzy.
It makes her dizzy.
Yes. Yeah. Probably adding to the high of the pleasure. Chapter 23. Ophelia tells Blackwell about the shadow voice. He is able to calm her. So she at this point she's becoming more vulnerable with him. He makes a deal. Blackwell makes a deal with Jasper to see the contestant logs because of the name Gabriel that she finds. So she wants to, I guess, find out when Gabriel would have been at Phantasma. Blackwell says he wants to also help train her magic so she can control it. So in the next chapter, he pretty much gives her magic lessons. She has, I guess you would say, two types of magic, which is, I call it spark magic, like the one she used on the Hellhound to distract it. And then she has her like invisible. She's able to turn parts of herself invisible.
She's Invisigirl.
She's unable to control the spark magic well, but is able to make certain body parts disappear in self-defense. The bell for the third trial rings, and she goes to the dining room. The devil Devon introduces the third trial clue, and she enters to find herself in a suspended gilded cage above boiling lava.
And what is the clue?
What is the clue?
Above a fiery abyss, your gilded cage must rise, but when it does, others will dive.
Oh, that was a short one.
That was a short one.
Okay.
That's pretty self-explanatory as well.
No, that was not it. I'm so sorry. That was what she had remembered.
Oh, okay. The important thing.
Above a fiery abyss, your gilded cage must rise, but when it does, others will dive. Golden weights around your chains, greed's alluring song, a dangerous game, a sea of temptation, a choice to unfold, decide if your life is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, also pretty self-explanatory, in my opinion. So trials in chapter 25, we've figured out that trial 3 represents greed, clearly by the clue. In the cage, Ophelia sees a chain behind her, and being in her stupid panic state that she is in, she tries to touch it, getting burned on her hand in the process because, you know, the chain is connected down to the lava below, so the lava is heating the chain and it's hot as fuck. She summons Blackwell, who only is able to come as a voice projection. Otherwise, the weight of him would affect her cage, so it would make it lower. He tells her she must scale the cliff next to her and find weights, adding them to the chain so she rises while others fall. She does so even with her injured hand. She sees Cade, who is hoarding the gold weights to take back with him. Ophelia is able to make it out of the trial and faints when she gets into the dining room.
I was hoping that
Cade would die.
Yeah.
Spoiler, he doesn't.
Not.
No, that would be too easy.
But he's so greedy.
He's so greedy. Yeah, so essentially what this was about, or what the riddle was saying, is that the gold weights that they're pulling from the cliff, you can hoard them with a chance to take them home, but obviously it would...
I was looking at you and they just were explaining. I'm sorry. You just looked funny when you were explaining like that. Continue.
So they can choose to gather as much gold weights as possible, but it would obviously make their cage heavier. So it would take a lot more effort for them to pull themselves up and get more and add and counteract the balance. So, you know, of course, Cade is like some fucking muscle meathead or something like that. And he's able to like drag up all these gold weights with ease. But eventually Ophelia makes it through. And the reason why we're saying we wish he died is because at the end of the chapter, we see his like cage fall right?
Yeah. And so we're like, oh my God, yay, she did it.
But no.
And he's going to show up in the next chapter.
Yeah. So he clearly made it out. Yeah. But yeah. What did you guys think about this level?
I think it's definitely very telling of who, like, you can make your way up regardless, you know, if you want to be like Kate and be greedy or not. So it definitely really shows who you are kind of as a person.
Do you guys think you would have taken some gold?
Maybe like 1 or 2.
I think so. I think I would have taken at least 2.
I don't think so. I don't know, to be honest. I think I would just try to get up as fast as possible.
That's true too. I think if you were in this situation, potentially my only thought process would be to like fucking make it out of there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would
survive.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have like the ability to separate think about the goals at the time and like saving it. Like, okay, well that one's going down the chain.
Yeah. I thought during this chapter too, they're like Blackwell and Ophelia's romantic story had a little bit of substance because he's obviously starting to notice that she does things in threes and that she hears something that tells her to do things. And so to like calm her down, he tells her to take a breath and then he's like, now take 2 more.
Yeah.
And it's because he notices that she needs to do things in threes. And I was like, well, that's cute that he notices that.
Yeah.
He's like, breathe, bitch.
Calm the fuck down.
We love an attentive man.
I keep picturing him with the top hat too. But then I know that's
I can see that.
But then that's how I picture Jasper. I picture Jasper as the villain in Tiana's.
Yeah,
and
I definitely
Princess
picture him
Noir.
as a
Shadow
top
Man.
hat kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, chapter 26. Taste. What are we tasting?
His
We
thing
can only guess. I guess Ophelia passes out, probably from the heat, but also because her hand is like fucking burned off. So Blackwell heals her. She explains more about the shadow voice to him. They start having a steamy encounter in the hallway until he brings her to the broom closet and then he goes down on her. And that's the chapter. Great. Let's move on.
This transparent man going down on her.
In the next chapter, they move to her bedroom, they do the deed, and have sex with blood raining down on them because of a haunt.
I'm slipping, I'm sliding, I'm running to the bed.
Busting on the beat. Oh.
So literally, she's like riding him.
Yep.
Right?
With blood.
And blood is like raining down on him.
Fall down. Wake my dreams.
Let it wash away my sanity. Because at this time, you're insane, Miss Girl. Like, I think he was like motioning her to stop or something so he could clean it up. And she's like, no, let's keep going.
She's like, I love this blood.
So she has like a blood kink. Interesting. After their bloody sexcapade, they go through the book of contestants and no one sticks out to her. She gets drunk and talks about her family. These last chapters were kind of boring to me, so they're very short in the description aspect.
Yep.
Chapter 29, Blackwell gives her more magic lessons. They were interrupted by a new devil that we haven't met yet. His name is Sinclair. Sinclair and Blackwell get into an altercation, and Sinclair makes Blackwell disappear from the room. So essentially, he shuts him out. I guess it kind of becomes clear that Sinclair is like a little bit more powerful in a sense. Sinclair wants to make a deal with Ophelia in exchange for her to forfeit because he doesn't want her to keep snooping around, essentially. Sinclair's whole ordeal is that he doesn't want Blackwell to get his memories back. He doesn't want Blackwell to get any help. Ophelia is obviously against it. Like, you know, she's fucking the Phantom. She doesn't want to leave, you know. Sinclair tells her that to ask Blackwell why he didn't show her page 882 in the contestant logs. And Ophelia ends up confronting him, and she turns to the page to read the names Gabriel White and Tessie Grimm. Tessie is her mother. And then Gabriel is the name that she's been following, obviously, to find Genevieve. Mm-hmm. By chapter 30, Ophelia has lost trust in Blackwell. He tells her Gabriel White is her father. Gabriel lost his second attempt at this competition just before Phantasma came to New Orleans. So Phantasma kind of jumps from city to city. So prior to New Orleans, it was in New York. And this Gabriel person, their father, lost his second time entering Phantasma. We find out she gets her ability to disappear from her father. So he's a specter. So that's where she gets it from. And we find out specters are rare, and that's why Blackwell chose him for the bargain. So we find out that Blackwell has also helped or tried to help her father in this competition. So all these family secrets unfold, and Ophelia goes into some sort of crisis, identity crisis. But yeah, that was the last 10 chapters. Anything to note? Or have we said it all?
I think we said it all.
Okay, moving on to chapter 31, which is Trial 4. This trial represents gluttony. There was a lot going on in this trial, but I'll do my best to explain as much as possible.
Level 4. A deadly game unfurls upon a twisted board. Watch every step you take, or your fate will be untoward. To gain the upper hand, levers are in play, but be careful which you choose. The pendulum swings both ways. Temptations in numbers don't overcount. Forward or backward, a single key to get out.
Work. This trial is introduced by Jasper. And Ophelia is the first one to enter. So when she enters a room, and she's pretty much on a square. So this room is set up like a chessboard, essentially.
Harry Potter.
Without the chess piece. Oh, shit. Without the chess
Not
pieces.
me. Not Hermione.
You. Okay.
Chessboard.
Yes. Chessboard.
Bring it back.
I'm just going to read this. This is the best way to get through this. So they're in this room on a chessboard. On the far wall, there is 13 sets of levers. These 13 sets of levers, it's one pair per contestant. One lever is marked with a check mark. The next is marked with a cross. And each pair of levers has a contestant's nameplate on it of the contestant. I think what this represents is if they are able to pull the check mark lever, they get a advantage in another trial, but this this kind of brings out traps and stuff in this level for the other contestants. So you're essentially screwing over other contestants in order for you to get the advantage.
You can hit anybody's, right? That's
you
what
can
it was?
hit anybody's. And then I guess the X is that you get a disadvantage of some sort. So there's the levers. The next part of this trial is that all of the contestants have iron collars around their neck, and they are attached via chains. So there's one chain in front and one chain in the back, and essentially what this does is it limits their movement. That's pretty much what it does. Other contestants enter, and they all start in a line 1 square apart on the chessboard. So pretty much everyone starts off on an even playing field. The level begins. Gold bars appear above their head, and when a contestant steps forward onto a different square on the floor, a tile sinks, and then they get the gold bar. If they fail to step forward or step forward too late, a swinging blade comes from the ceiling and kills them. So like I said, when a contestant pulls a lever, more traps can happen. So one of the first people to escape is Cade, and obviously he goes to
bitch.
He goes to Ophelia's levers and pulls her X, right? Ophelia is able to go invisible to free herself from her collar, and her whole thing is just she's kind of timing when to get past all these pendulums that are now swinging in every which fucking way, and it's chaotic. One of the guys, James, gets like wounded by the pendulum and he forfeits, and other contestants just fall victim to this game. One contestant, Eric, accuses Ophelia of being a demon and starts a fight with her. Ophelia is able to free herself from him and sets a trap to purposefully cause him to get hit by a pendulum, ultimately killing him. So we start to see Ophelia feel really guilty about actually intentionally killing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much level 4, trial 4, if it makes any sense. So how I imagine it is like the chessboard and the lines that divide up all the squares is like where all the pendulums are going, and it's going like this.
Yeah.
And like this everywhere.
Have to time it.
I don't exactly remember how it goes, but is it the tile sinks if they grab the gold bar because it's heavy? Like if they decide to take the gold with them?
I think it does. I think it does sink. Because it helps them not get hit by the pendulum. That's why some of them too, like if they didn't grab the bar on time or if they didn't get it, they like are crawling.
Yeah. Because I remember Ophelia making it through. None of her tiles really sank, right? Because I don't think she grabbed any of the gold bars. She was just trying to make it pass.
She was just trying to make it pass.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. How do we feel about Ophelia getting her first kill?
Girl, you got to do what you got to do to survive these games.
Honestly.
Like,
Also, they're coming after her to kill her. Like,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. If it was me, I would have no guilt. I'd be like, well, he tried to kill me first. That's what he gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is. Okay. Ooh, distraction. How are we distracting ourselves? Ophelia is able to escape the trial. She was surprised to see Lucy had already escaped. So she realizes something's odd about Lucy. Ophelia tells her she killed Eric and realizes Lucy had an injury that was already healing. And doesn't she have like some sort of shimmering paste?
She said it's like opalescent is what it looks like is on her wound. I don't know if it was supposed to be like her blood or something was on it. They really never went back and addressed that.
Yeah, I was a little confused. Don't know if it'll be addressed in the second one since Lucy is more of Genevieve's friend.
Oh, true.
On like who Lucy actually is. So yeah, something maybe to look for in the second book. Ophelia goes back to her room to bathe and summons Blackwell while naked in the bathtub. And then they do more dirty stuff. And then after, she says she's going to search around for his key alone. So she tries to put boundaries in place, saying that I cannot touch anymore.
Say so.
If you if you say so. Chapter 33, Frivolous Fantasy. Ophelia goes back to the secret room where she found her father's name and cries herself to sleep. She leaves and encounters the devil Sinclair, who entices her to ask for a frivolous fantasy to show her he can give her anything she wants. And really, she wants Blackwell, but in panic, she asks for a big, lavish ball. She talks to Sinclair and finds out he's trapped here in debt for helping the Prince of Devils, Salamastris, hide his lover. I'm just going to call him Salem for short. Salem runs Phantasma as punishment from his father, the King of Devils. Ophelia still declines helping Sinclair and gets trapped in the ball. Blackwell comes to save her. It was all an illusion, but as he drags her out of it, she encounters a terrible pain. So in order to break the illusion, it's pretty painful, the process. But she's like, I think it was in the library, and she's just like fucking dancing. She was dancing around for hours until Blackwell found her. So she was just like in this trance, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing in here?
That reminded me of Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, the Nellie.
Did you see that?
Her name?
You didn't see that. We didn't get that far.
We didn't finish it, no. But she
She's-
goes back to the house and she's just like...
She's dancing with her late husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
then
I
it
imagined.
flashes to her in like this creepy haunted house of her by herself, just like going around.
Yeah.
Oh, we made it there.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think so. I think I remember that. Yeah. Yes. And then we get to chapter 34, which is Trial 5, which represents wrath. Give us the clue, Lauren.
We didn't get one because Ophelia was late.
We didn't get one because Ophelia was late.
All of the contestants were already in the level, and she was last to be called. So she didn't get a clue.
Because Blackwell was like, where the hell have you been? Like, he was looking for her. Obviously, she was in this trance, and he was like, we need to get you to the next level.
Yeah, because she was about to not make it.
Yeah, she was going to have to forfeit.
Yeah. So Blackwell brings her to the dining room. As Trial 5 already started, she barely makes it. Rhea, I guess it's the devil in charge, who insinuates that her and Blackwell have had a past sexual relationship, making Ophelia jealous as she enters the portal. Perfect. So she's been dancing for hours, she's jealous, and she's going into a trial that represents wrath. All good things.
But she doesn't want to touch him anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Says her, so you can't really be jealous.
You're Miss Wishy-Washy over here that don't know what she fucking want. So Ophelia steps through the portal and emerges in a small, windowless, doorless cube. A 5-square-foot room with plain alabaster walls. Panic and claustrophobia set in as she realizes there's no obvious exit and limited air. After a moment, she hears grinding stone and notices a hidden panel lifting in the wall, revealing an alcove with 2 chains and metal handles. Under the left handle is the word forfeit, and under the right handle is wrath. She hesitates, but ultimately pulls the handle marked wrath. When she does, the choice triggers a panel of buttons beneath the handles, each labeled with remaining contestants' names. Ophelia realizes she is being asked to enact wrath on one of the contestants. So this is for them to select someone to punish or perhaps kill or force into a violent confrontation. When Ophelia pulls the wrath handle, the walls collapse outward, revealing the other contestants standing in rubble. She sees clearly who remained after level 4 and who has been eliminated. Ophelia identifies those still in play as Cade, Lucy, Beau, Leon, Charlotte, Edna, and a quiet man with a cowlick.
He doesn't get a name? Okay.
Nope. She's not important to him, or he's not important to her. So Lucy notes that everyone picked wrath, leading to discussions about what that means for advancement. Charlotte, Edna, and Lucy debate the implications. They recognize that when all players pick the same target, it forces a unanimous outcome, which means someone must be left behind. The instructions apparently indicated that if 6 out of the 7 chose the same person, only one person would be eliminated. Ophelia and the others realized Cade was the obvious pick. So, bye, Cade. A confrontation ensues, and Cade refuses to accept that he might be the chosen target, and he becomes physically aggressive. So he's pushing, shoving, and ultimately choking one of the contestants, Edna, to force a decision. He tries to force wrath on the group, saying that if someone doesn't forfeit, people will die. But Ophelia refuses to step aside quietly. She refuses to let Edna die or let Cade dictate the terms. She stands her ground, speaking out and ultimately turning invisible and attacking Cade in an effort to save Edna. Her invisibility allows her to surprise Cade. She kicks him and he tumbles, releasing Edna. She also punches him several times once she becomes invisible again. And at the same time, Ophelia forces Edna's captors and other players to check Edna's pulse and take care of her. Edna manages to gasp for air and begs out of the trial. So she forfeits, loudly declaring she wants a deal and begs for Rhea's help. So once again, Cade escapes death because this girl forfeits. So she's the one person that was not supposed to leave, or that can't win, is her. Mm-hmm. So everyone else is safe. And that was Trial 5. What do you think about that trial?
I don't really think it was built very well, in my opinion, compared to the other trials.
It wasn't very memorable.
No.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it just further shows Cade's shitty personality. Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's obviously a very,
the biggest antagonist. We keep getting too much of him.
He's just, an overall aggressive character. Yeah. Which is fitting for this trial. That's about it. Probably one of my least favorite trial.
Yeah.
Chapter 35. After Ophelia leaves the trial, she runs into Sinclair again, who riles her up about Blackwell and Rhea, saying they used to be lovers. Jasper also walks past and confirms Blackwell is with Rhea at this very moment. And Ophelia goes back to her room to bathe, and Blackwell interrupts her. She shows her jealous side. This is where he helps her bathe and confirms he was with Rhea to ask for a favor she owed him. And this favor is to return to Jasper after he helped get to the contestant logs. And then they have some sort of intimate and personal conversation that I can't recall.
I think it had to do like with her family. I think she was just like telling him about her mom.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Didn't remember it. Doesn't matter.
No,
I remember a lot.
They try to connect on some deeper level anyway. There always has to be like one moment in this romantasy books where they like have like a turning point, I guess, essentially, where like, for example, in Quicksilver, where she's like fucking Kingfisher is like going through it and she's like sitting there patting his back and telling her story or whatever.
And I can remember that scene more than I can this one. I read that book months ago.
Yeah.
We read Fourth Wing at the beginning of the year, and I can remember all the turning points over this one. So
sorry, Miss Kaylie.
So onward and forward.
It's okay. We're excited for book number 2.
Chapter 36. Ophelia and Blackwell have sex again. And then this time they're interrupted by Jasper. He's like standing at the
like
foot
watching
of the bed.
them.
He's like, hey, what's up?
Fucking weird.
Blackwell, I guess, had asked Jasper to find out what happened to Ophelia's parents in exchange for 3 years of his memory. They go to the drinking parlor, and Jasper says her parents fell in love in Phantasma and that Ophelia was conceived there. Falling in love in Phantasma is taboo because of the Prince Salem, who essentially Phantasma is a whole punishment of him because he fell in love with a mortal. Ophelia is panicking and blurts out that her and Blackwell are repeating history, insinuating that there is something more between them, that she might love him. When Blackwell tries to talk to her about it, she leaves the parlor and finds herself falling through the Whispering Gate again.
Was 36 that one chapter? The cringy chapter? Where he was like, you're doing such a good job.
It's like, you're such a good girl.
She's like giving a blowjob, and he's like, you're doing a great job.
I'm like,
I don't really thank you. I'm gonna go now.
That's what like most of the men will say in the smut books, though.
Yeah.
It's like the
praise kink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which she seems to have one, because every time he says something to her, she's like, my mother never said good job.
Yeah. She definitely has a praise kink from her lack of being praised as a child.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
But they'll always say that. Like, it's always when the girl's giving them head that they, like, are amazed. The men. It's quite funny, actually.
I've been like, that's my time. Go ahead and
I'm going to take my exit now. So by chapter 37, Ophelia is in the Whispering Gate and she finds her mother. She ends up telling her mother everything that happened, and Ophelia's mother does the same in regards to her father. So kind of gives them their history.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? I guess the Whispering Gate in general is like a place where people who have passed are waiting to connect with someone from the other side, I guess, if they have something to say, or they're waiting to move on
to that.
Yeah, something like that. After speaking with her mother, Blackwell brings them back to her room. In an attempt to not repeat history, Blackwell says that they can only be business partners. They fight. He leaves. Ophelia has a nightmare about the manipulation of the shadow voice, only to be jolted awake by lingering presence of who she assumes is Blackwell. Because her locket was all nice and warm.
This girl.
Chapter 39, Ophelia goes searching for Blackwell's key. Sinclair approaches her again. He suggests they have fun, and they start to have intimate relations. Ophelia realizes her reactions are the same as they are with Blackwell and pushes Sinclair off to stop him. Rhea was watching them and tells her she will let Blackwell know Ophelia has moved on from him to Sinclair.
She said, noted.
Noted. I'm going to go tell him right now. In distraught, she runs back to her room and comes to realization that she loves Blackwell. So, yeah, I guess that was kind of Sinclair's goal all along, is to further divide them. So he came on to her knowing that Rhea was there so that she could say, hey, by the way, Ophelia and Sinclair are like fucking, so that,
this girl easy. That's all I gotta say. Like, the fuck? I can't.
She's horny throughout this entire thing, pretty much.
Ugh.
Which, I'm sorry, I cannot be turned on in a place.
Like, she's there for a week. Hold it in.
That part. You've done it your entire life. I think you should wait.
She got a taste of some phantom dick. And is like, I need more.
Jesus.
Uh,
Take a cold bath and settle the fuck down.
That part.
And then by level 40, we get to trial 6, which represents deceit. The devil Phoebe introduces this trial. Hit the riddle, Lauren.
Chapter 40.
My job. That's it? Yes. Okay. A trial of secrets where blood reveals the price. True or false. Make sure your choice is wise. That doesn't rhyme. A crushing truth.
That's right.
Crushing truth sealed by uncertain fates. False tales won't help, for your blood knows the stakes.
So they enter the trial only to find themselves sitting at a round table with a needle at their finger and a pillar above their head. They each take turns pricking their finger, revealing something about themselves, and other players have to choose whether it's a true or false statement. This is where Ophelia goes first, right? No.
Yes. Well, so she escapes
Yes.
the shackles.
But she pricks her finger. She pricks her finger first because her truth or lie was that she fucked a devil. Or she fucked or she had sexual relations
She
with
kissed
a
a devil.
She kissed a devil. And then...
And they all were like, that's true.
That's true, yeah.
Slut.
Whore. I don't know if it was hers exactly, but there was... When they get to someone's statement, a guy named Baker gets crushed by the pillar after Cade deceives him into choosing the wrong answer. Was that... Whose truth was that? Wait. Anytime you do that, that's what reminds me.
Oh, Baker Broussard is colorblind. Is Baker's thing.
Oh, yes.
But he doesn't, he says that's wrong. That's false. But then people are like, wait. Like, what color is Ophelia's dress? What color is Lucy's dress? And they find out that he is somewhat colorblind because he sees one color different than everybody else.
Yeah, he had like an injury.
Yeah. And then Charlotte Williams has a twin.
Okay.
That was hers.
Yes.
Which they say is true. Is it true? I don't remember, but that was hers. Cade killed his sister's husband.
Maybe is that the one Baker didn't?
No. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was it. So Cade killed his sister's husband. Everyone chose false except for Baker.
Yeah.
And then Baker gets squished.
Yeah. So this entire trial, pretty much, they have a needle at their finger, so they all have to go around poking their finger. Blood goes towards the center of the table, revealing some sort of statement about them. And all the players have to choose whether the statement is true or false. If they choose the wrong answer, then they get crushed by the pillar atop of their head. Mm-hmm. Obviously, people can deceive each other, so they can lie about the statement themselves to try to get people to choose the wrong answer. So that's what Cade did to Baker. Baker didn't initially, he was too rash. He kind of didn't sit there and wait to think it through. He just automatically assumed that was a true statement because of Cade's kind of aggressive and violent
nature,
persona and nature, and he ends up getting crushed. It's disgusting. He's like smushed to smithereens. People are vomiting everywhere. There's like blood all over Ophelia. It's pretty gross.
Yep.
And then we go into, this was like the only trial that was split into like 2 chapters. So this next chapter, we continue on to this trial where Lucy reveals her truth next, her statement, which was that she was in love with Leon. And everyone presses true. Oh, another thing to note is that I think it's Beau. He has like a random.
Skip. So there's random and skip
button,
which was from the lever one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the disadvantage.
So yeah, Beau has random, so he has to pick random at least once, and then it does it. Which for him it was fine.
Yeah.
It chose the right one for him.
Yeah.
And then somebody else had skip.
Yeah. And then Leon's truth was that he did not love Lucy. And everyone chose true except Beau, whose random ends up choosing false, so he gets crushed by the pillar. Mm-hmm. Lucy and Leon, well, everyone leaves the trial. Lucy and Leon are unable to touch now, as Lucy admits she fell in love with Phantasma, essentially, so this is her punishment. They get burned due to the curse. Lucy ends up quitting Phantasma. Ophelia does some searching for Blackwell's key. She goes back to her room to find Blackwell, who now knows that Sinclair touched her. They reveal how much they care for each other, but are devastated by their fates. So they've come to like some sort of, what do you call it? Terms of their situation.
Mm-hmm. Question: do you know? Because I asked Mossy all this and she didn't know.
Okay.
The curse of Phantasma when they fall in love. Because this was the first time that we like saw the curse actually come to life. Do you remember what the curse specifically is? Because obviously it's like if they fall in love, they feel burned or burns. But is it from the person's touch or is it?
I don't think there's like an actual set punishment for falling in love. I think that just happened to be Lucy's punishment because, which we'll talk about later, but Tessie and Gabriel fell in love in Phantasma. Mm-hmm. And their punishment, their curse was that Gabriel became obsessive over Tessie, while Tessie was like
heartlessly apathetic.
Yeah.
Like she kind of just forgot about him.
Yeah, she like didn't want to be with him anymore. So that was their like kind of punishment, I guess, in a sense. I think.
Says the curse that applies to anyone who falls in love while inside Phantasma is both ominous and destructive. So best ways to describe it, those who fall in love with within Phantasma are cursed, and it is severe and it has severe consequences. Mm-hmm. So one partner can become terrifyingly obsessive while the other one becomes heartlessly apathetic. And then it says, in simpler terms, if you fall in love inside the mansion, your emotions get twisted. So one will become obsessed and the other one just emotionally shuts down.
I wonder if Leon and Lucy's is different because Lucy, it was a one-sided love type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if they were both in love with each other, maybe it would have turned out like that for them as well.
We'll get to it, but that's a big plot hole for me.
Okay. We'll get to it. Chapter 42, Ophelia stays in bed until the next trial. Woohoo. Perfect. Did that need to be a whole chapter? No.
That was literally like, wasn't that chapter like literally a minute long? I remember I was listening to the audiobook and I was like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah. It said some things about her crying herself to sleep or something. And then chapter 43 happens and we're finally at trial 7. So if Ophelia passes this trial, she can finally explore more parts of Phantasma and potentially find Genevieve. This trial represents Violet Sorrengail?
Violet Sorrengail.
Violence.
Aw, I loved that nickname. Okay. At this point in time, the people that are left are Ophelia, Charlotte, and Cade. And Lauren, hit us with the riddle.
A choice of 2 tokens, a decision to make. If only If all only take one, nothing is at stake. If two choose one and the third takes all, the third will walk, the others will brawl. If two choose all, the third takes one, the third will be free, the other two undone. I would have been like, stop. Stop. I don't know what the fuck I don't even know what I just read.
Yeah. Imagine just hearing it.
Yeah. That's the riddle.
All right, so I'll explain. So in this trial, each player has 2 coins. If they all choose 1 coin, they all walk out. If 2 people choose 1 coin and the one person chooses 2 coins, the 2-coined person can walk away. If 2 people chooses 2 coins, they must fight while the person who chose 1 can walk away. During this trial, Ophelia summons Blackwell, who goes to see what the other opponents choose. Charlotte chose 1, Cade chose 2. So essentially, she has to make a decision on whether her or Charlotte are going to fight Cade, and Ophelia chooses herself. So she chooses 2 coins so she can fight Cade. And during this fight, Cade rips off her necklace, and Ophelia's heart suddenly starts to slow down, and she's dizzy. So her heart is literally the locket. Her heart is in the locket. Her soul is in the locket.
Her soul is in the locket.
Something along those lines. She manages to trick Cade somehow and gets it back, and she kills him. And that's trial 7.
Finally.
He's dead. We don't have to worry about him no more.
And think about it. It follows the exact same way Cade died in Hunger Games. He was the third to last person to die.
Yeah.
It was her and Pita.
Yeah.
They pushed him to the
Hounds.
dogs.
Yeah. Yep. What do we think about Ophelia's decision to fight Cade?
I mean, already, like, come on. Like, thank goodness, like, you have some balls to fucking make a decision, because you were not going to survive, girl.
Yeah.
And then you would have felt worse if you had to fight
Charlotte.
Who
didn't do anything to you.
Yeah.
Automatically, I think earlier she already had some sort of respect for Charlotte, because Charlotte just kept to herself and did her own thing and didn't fuck around with anybody. Chapter 44. She exits the trial with a sense of pride, only to find a difference in atmosphere. Her haunt begins. So the haunts are the physical forms of everybody's fears. So finally she encounters her, which is a physical manifestation of the shadow voice in her head. And the shadow voice is taunting her. She follows it and ends up fighting it. She sustains multiple slashes, drops a candelabra, and sets the room ablaze. She calls for Blackwell and passes out. Which, why would you chase after it?
I was a little confused.
She was feeling very brave after she killed Cade.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to just confront everything in my life at this point. And the shadow voice was one. In the next chapter, she awakes to Blackwell holding her. He's devastated. He tells her she clawed herself. She pretty much made these injuries to herself, and he healed her. They go back to her room where she... Let me just talk about this part first before we get into the cringy. This is the cringy sexy time. Because I put... And they have cringy written intimate time, is my notes. I guess you could say this haunt was more so of an illusion for her. So in her mind, she was battling the shadow voice, and the shadow voice is the one that was creating these slashes on her, but it was really her doing it to herself. And when she explains it to Blackwell after she wakes up after he heals her, she said, one of my biggest fears is that the shadow voice is going to convince me to hurt myself or kill myself, essentially. So that's what that represented. After this traumatic experience, they go back to her room where she makes him beg on his knees for him to be able to
bark like you wanted. Talk.
Have sexy time with her. And then they have cringy written intimate time. They are interrupted by a knock on the door and a voice that sounds like Genevieve. Ophelia and Genevieve, so Genevieve is actually there. So Ophelia and Genevieve catch up. Genevieve tells her Their mother made a deal with the devil to erase their father's memories of them, as his father kept writing to their mother saying he was going to win Phantasma to get her back. So this goes back to the whole their curse, about how this Gabriel guy is obsessed with finding them, pretty much. And her mother doesn't want their father to find them. So she makes a deal with the devil to get their father's memories erased. The deal was unable to be successful due to Phantasma's previous curse. So the curse is overriding this deal with the devil. That can't happen. They are in debt because their mother bought a second home in case they needed to go into hiding. Genevieve says a devil Sinclair told her there was someone here who resembled her, and that's why Genevieve came to her room. Genevieve is also a specter and has had powers since she was a child, but hid them out of fear her mother would take her freedom away. Genevieve offers to help Ophelia find the heart and key for Blackwell. So that's kind of the outcome of this chapter. How do we feel about Genevieve being a specter as well?
That makes sense.
Right, because they're siblings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like...
And it makes sense that she's able to control it already, too.
Yeah.
Crazy
would have
to
been
think
like,
that
why
she
do
had...
you get powers and I fucking don't? Fuck, what kind of life is this? Are we even siblings?
Yeah. Crazy to think that Genevieve had powers like this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is probably why she felt like she would be okay going into Phantasma, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 47. The three of them, the three meaning Ophelia, Genevieve, and Blackwell, search Phantasma together. They're bonding or whatever. Genevieve decides to start sleeping in Ophelia's room. The next day, Sinclair interrupts them to cause drama, and jealousy ensues from Blackwell. He's pretty much kind of talking about their intimate time in front of Blackwell. Blackwell states that the two of them, Ophelia and Genevieve, staying together is not a good idea if that's what Sinclair wants. He also states that players are trying to kill each other now as only one person can enter level 9. Ophelia tries to talk Genevieve into forfeiting the competition.
When they meet... No, you talked about it. Never mind. Sorry, that flew over my head. It was like, I was just thinking about Genevieve, how she was the one that forged her mom's signatures.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With the bankers. Like, she knew about everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But her whole thing was that she wanted to take the burden off of and the responsibilities away from Ophelia, because she knew, because Ophelia's been doing that her whole life. Like, she's been setting herself up to become the next necromancer. Right. She's like, no, we were supposed to be traveling and living a normal life.
Right.
So that's why she did everything she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think to take some burden off of her, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, also, Genevieve is just kind of a snooper. Mm-hmm. So she's nosy.
So that's probably why she, like, the same powers that Ophelia has, she probably found that out at a young age and started practicing. You know what I mean? Like, being very secretive.
For sure. If she can go invisible, then she can, at an early age, she can find out things that I'm sure Ophelia couldn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And by chapter 48, we're at trial 8, which represents fraud. Genevieve makes the decision to leave Phantasma, so she forfeits. Ophelia goes to the next trial that is announced by Sinclair. He's happy that Genevieve isn't here, and then Ophelia gets a bad feeling on why that is, because we thought it was the opposite. We thought that Sinclair didn't want them to be together, but it turns out he didn't want them to be together, and we'll find out why. She enters the portal to find herself in a room with 2 Genevieves. Blackwell tells her she must find the real one, or the actual Genevieve outside of Phantasma will die. Ophelia comes to the realization that this is how her mother died. This is where their father lost the trial just before it came to New Orleans, and leading to Tessie Grimm's death. Ophelia realizes none of them are real, and she wins the trial and exits.
And it's because, what was the question that she asked the Genevieve?
She asked how many men either has she kissed or slept with. Mm-hmm. And one Genevieve answers, 11? And she was like 11, like right away. And then the other one answered, and she was like, I don't keep track. She's like, I don't know, maybe like this amount.
Mm-hmm. Which she knew that one was for sure a liar, because she was like, she would know. she would know.
Yeah.
But then why did she know that the other one wasn't? What was the clue to that?
What's wrong with her? An exact number, but one that was highly implausible despite Ophelia only being able to remember a handful of names her sister had mentioned in brief affairs. Not after Genevieve had admitted to keeping things from Ophelia. If Ophelia could count almost 11 in her own memory, however, that would mean that there were more. So Ophelia said that she, in her own mind, could count at least 11.
So already the person who said 11 is the liar.
Damn, Genevieve, you a little hoe.
And Ophelia says she's reached up to grasp onto her locket. When she approached the first Genevieve, nothing. As she expected, when she turned to the second one, also nothing. So her locket also told her that she was.
That locket is useful as fuck.
Confirmed that neither.
Yes. In chapter 49, pretty much a really short chapter as well, Ophelia strengthens her resolve to face the Prince of Devils, Salem, deciding she's like, I'm not going to go in there with a soft heart. That was her resolve.
So she thinks.
And then she enters trial 9, which represents treachery. Ophelia decides to summon the door to the prince like she did before. So I guess which I missed this, but in previous chapters, I guess she came across this door or summoned the door, but they couldn't open it because she didn't know the name of the prince. And no one in the, I guess that works in Phantasma is allowed to say his name or talk about him. But she finds out about him on her own. We see Sinclair in disbelief. He's trying everything he can to stop her from going inside. She must say the Prince of Devils' names to open it. She enters the portal. So she says his name. She enters the portal and waits, but no one is there. She decides to call for Blackwell, and suddenly she feels all this power around her, and Blackwell approaches her and reintroduces himself as Salem Mistress Blackwell.
Wow,
what a twist.
I thought he was going to be bad, like actually bad, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, yes. So Blackwell is the Prince of Devils, also known as Salem, which we will get more into his backstory because there's an entire italicized chapter about it. I put Blackwell's backstreet. That was supposed to say Blackwell's backstory. But pretty much, Blackwell had fallen in love with a mortal. His father punished him by torturing and killing his love. He knows Blackwell's true name, Salem Mistress Blackwell, and uses it to control him. Blackwell is also sentenced to rule Phantasma, but with a loophole that only a heart and key will set him free. The king makes his devil servant Dahlia place the soul of Blackwell's love into the locket. She is to give the locket to someone who will pass it down who will pretty much pass it down to people that have the potential to enter Phantasma over the next 5 centuries. So the king wants to give the locket to someone where eventually it might find its way to Blackwell, but he wants to punish him for at least 500 years first. Right?
Yes. Yeah. He's like, it's basically like a test to him if his true love will come back to him eventually, or like if it's true love that they'll somehow find a way back to each other.
Yes. So in that, I forgot what the name of the woman was, but it's pretty much Ophelia's ancestor. She was like a prisoner somewhere, and Dahlia gave that locket to her, and it somehow made it through the family.
Hestia Grimm.
Hestia, that was her name. And this is where we get to the ending. This is a very long synopsis of the ending, but Blackwell tells Ophelia that he will reduce her blood bargain oath to 5 years instead of 10. He tells her because Ophelia's kind of caught in between. She made the blood bargain with him for 10 years of his life in return for her to set him free if she finds the key. which she didn't fulfill.
Mhm.
But because she won Phantasma, he made this deal with her that he'll reduce her sentence because she entered the door too late. Do you guys remember this?
The door to this level?
Yes. Or she entered it too early.
Yeah, she entered it too
So she
early.
doesn't get the devil's wish.
Yeah.
But he makes another bargain with her.
Yes. He tells her she doesn't get what she wants because she entered this level too early as there was still other players. He states his devil mark allows him to play the part of a ghost well. So essentially his devil mark is, I'm assuming, him being able to like turn
his hair
transparent and shit and his hair and all that stuff, right?
Because they all have apparent devil marking. Some have spikes on their arms. Some have a tail. His is his white hair.
Okay.
But it just happens to look good.
Danny Phantom.
He says his memories are erased with each new game, so each new Phantasma game, and he starts to remember again once a contestant reaches level 9. However, he continues to lose himself over the process as the years go by. When they first spoke outside of Phantasma, that was the real him, which is why he was able to give her the clue about the heart and the key. He finds it fascinating that Sinclair tried to stop her from getting to him. Ophelia admits that everything she felt for Blackwell was real, and she was going to use her Devil's Grant to find and break his tether to Phantasma. She tries to admit she loves him, but he stops her. She realizes and tells Blackwell about her locket, that what he's been searching for is Ophelia herself or whoever holds the locket. She tells him about her heart almost stopping when Cade ripped it off of her, and that suddenly everything makes sense about why Sinclair was trying to stop her. Her mother saying, don't make deals with devils, and telling her to never take the necklace off. So these were things that were passed down over time to prevent them from finding each other. She rips off her locket and gives it to Blackwell. Ophelia admits, so the locket is the heart and the key, essentially. She rips off her locket and gives it to Blackwell. Ophelia admits she loves him and feels some sort of shock and cursed magic going through her. So, yes, as a punishment for her for her falling in love in Phantasma. The locket erupts into a bright light, and Blackwell gets all of his powers back and is now free. He offers to give her a working heart as payment for setting him free, but she has to agree. She does. However, Blackwell says he can't do anything about the curse. Blackwell says he can break a curse this powerful if she offers her soul to him. He promises to return it unblemished, but Ophelia declines, realizing if she died without it, she would have no afterlife. He then states he needs a permanent tether to break the curse. The tether would be her to be with him forever. If he lived for an eternity, so would she, and her immortal life force would fuel his magic, and he would never have to make bargains like other devils again. Blackwell admits he loves her. He says that the curse will only affect her if she's close to him. She can go live her life with her sister as if nothing ever happened if she wants to. So he gives her all the options, and that's kind of where that chapter ends.
To bind yourself for an eternity? You've known him for a week?
To the Prince of Devils.
That's some wild shit right there.
What is it? How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean?
It's a love story.
It's a love story. So Blackwell is saying we never have to see each other again, and it'll be as if the curse never existed. You can go live your life with your sister, be free and happy. Or if you want the curse broken, it would mean an eternity forever with me. We all know what she chose.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get to the epilogue. And fast forward a little bit, Phantasma has fallen. Ophelia now walks the streets of New Orleans again. She returns home with a gift for Genevieve. She goes to the living room, and we find Salem, which I guess now he goes by Salem instead of Blackwell. I guess so, because Salem is his first name. Enters to greet her, saying distracting her sister is not an easy task. Poe, the ghost cat, is also there with them as he's bonded to Salem now. So the cat was previously the King of Devils' spy. It was the way the King of Devils kind of
kept an eye on him.
Kept an eye on what Blackwell was doing. Ophelia still has the locket as a memento, They are now doing research into how it came into the Grimm family. They got Genevieve tickets to travel somewhere, and they will be meeting up with her in a few weeks later. So they finally get to travel and do the things that they've been wanting to do. Ophelia is left with 9 gold star tattoos on her as a reminder of how she defeated Phantasma. And that is the end.
Did you mention about the... Great. About how she... In level 9, how she finds out that her dad entered the level and that's what killed her mom.
Yes. Yeah. About
I missed that.
Oh, okay. That's okay. You were zoning out. It wasn't level 9, it was
whichever one
Level 8.
yeah.
where they had to choose.
Yeah, he
Okay.
couldn't.
Fraud.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't distinguish who the real Tessie Grimm was,
Yes,
and
yes.
that's how her mother died.
You
Yes,
don't
yes.
fucking know her.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and that was the end of the book. What are our thoughts? Anything to add? I wonder what Enchantra is going to be about.
I know. I really want to know about Genevieve storyline.
I wonder if it's going to...
I hope it's really funny. Like her
I feel like
hair.
she would be a
character.
good point of view to have.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be about... because they said they got her tickets to travel somewhere. So I wonder if this will span in the couple weeks that Ophelia is not near her.
Mm-hmm.
When
I
she's
kind of hope
somewhere
it
else.
uncovers. I mean, they uncovered a lot about their parents, but like maybe she knows more about, from her perspective, about her dad that she found out because she was like researching it before going into Phantasma 2. So that would be interesting.
We're all wrong. It is. It says the story follows Genevieve Grimm, who is trapped in a cursed Italian palace and forced to participate in a deadly game of hide and seek with the ruthless Rowan Silver, her supposed husband, to survive. The book features themes of fake dating, forbidden desire, family secrets, and a morally gray love interest. We love morally gray guys.
I do love morally great guys.
So
So
this
she
is like
travels to
probably
Italy.
after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she
just
travels
gets
to Italy, I
trapped in a different...
Mansion, I guess. Maybe it's the European
Play
version
hide
of
and seek.
Phantasma.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's probably called Enchantra. Enchantra. I can't say it.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the trials. Which trial was like the most, I don't want to say appealing, but which trial was like the most interesting to you?
The
And-
truth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the
For me.
defeat one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Because visually, I could really picture it. The other ones were a little bit more complex, like because they were bigger. So
Yeah.
I had a hard time picturing them. But this one I could picture pretty well.
And it's like, so for instance, in Cade's perspective, or could be perspective, like that guy has a great deceitful face or poker face,
Yeah.
right? Like if you want people to select the correct thing or not, like it depends on how you react on whatever they're saying the truth, right? Or is it the thing that says they say it themselves, right?
It's just a statement about themselves, and it could be true or false.
But it's not. Is it them that's saying it, or
No,
is it
actually has to be true or false?
I think the statement is appearing like in
That's what I mean.
the
Yeah,
center
sorry.
of the
Oh.
circle somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the center of the table, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot easier to react to that than being like, let me think. Do I want to tell the truth or a lie?
Yeah.
You know? And I think it's the most gruesome one too.
Oh
Did a
yeah.
block
Yeah.
drop on you?
It was definitely the most like what the fuck type of level.
Ooh. Oh, you haven't watched Alice in Borderland season 2 yet, huh?
Nope, just started it yesterday.
Oh,
Okay.
you did? Cool.
There's one. Did you rewatch season 1?
Nope, just gonna do a recap.
I'm probably gonna rewatch all of them. But
I think
anyways,
I need to.
there is a game in season 2. I think it's in season 2 where it reminds me the way that this level is laid out. It reminds me of. I pictured that game.
I did watch half of season 2.
The acid that falls on
I don't know.
people. Okay.
Even I don't remember.
Well, there's a game that they come across, and I think they have to do numbers, math. I forget like what the game is, but there's acid that falls on them,
Yeah.
and that's what I imagine for this level, but not acid, obviously, just getting
Pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like sitting in a circle, like chained.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I envisioned.
Is there a trial you guys think you wouldn't survive?
Okay, hold on.
Probably the 1v1 fighting if I had to fight somebody, I feel like.
It depends on who I'm fighting.
It depends on who I'm fighting. I mean, if I have powers like she did, maybe.
Yeah, Homegirl had a lot of, what do you call it? Handicaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm just a normal person, probably not going to survive that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the gluttony one, that chessboard thing is just, I need to see it.
Yeah.
I tried to look, while you were like reading it, I was trying to look up a picture to see if somebody kind of drew it out. I can't find one. Like, nobody's really thought about this book
Yeah.
to help visualize it. And so I still just don't understand it, that level. And I feel like it's so complex that I'm like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't survive that one.
Yeah.
Because you have to be super strategic, but other people at the same time are being strategic, and there's no time when you have all these axes or whatever the fuck is just going at you in all different directions.
Yeah. Plus, like, whatever other traps are set off by people pulling the levers.
Yeah.
I think the first one she even enters with the maze, it's just like all about luck too on finding the right path. So it's possible. Wouldn't make it.
Did we say which one we would survive? We said which one we would survive, which one we wouldn't survive?
I said which one intrigued you the most and which one, because I feel like most of us could survive multiple ones. Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think the level 8 too. Is it deceit? No. What's level 8 again? Not violence. The one where she had to pick.
Fraud.
Fraud. I think that one's intriguing as well too, because in her sense, like, she knew her sister well enough. Well, hold on a second. With the fucking locket, it helped her. So realistically, if she didn't have that locket, I don't know if she'd actually win.
Make it. Yeah.
So that's why, I mean,
Plus, it was kind of a trick question because it was neither of them.
Yeah.
So.
And then her.
Well, the thing is, she knew her sister, but this entire time she realized she didn't know her sister as well as she thought she did, because her sister had this whole other social life she didn't know about. So, who do you think out of the three of us would die or forfeit first if we entered Phantasma?
I think you would forfeit first.
No, I think Lauren would forfeit first.
I think you'd be too scared to go in.
That's fair.
Not if I have a handsome phantom I get to fuck. Might keep me there.
I mean,
if Phantasma, imagine Phantasma as a real competition, would you enter if you knew you might have to confront your deepest fear?
why would I enter? That would be the
You
reason.
get the wish.
I don't know.
It has to be like a really, like,
it
I
has-
need a really good reason.
yeah.
To begin with.
It has to be like a life or death situation that I have to be in to be like, there's nothing else I can do. I absolutely
Like
have to
Squid
do this.
Games. You're
Yeah.
in $10 million in debt. Yeah, I don't think I would enter unless I...
Like I had no choice.
Yeah.
Basically.
If my sibling ran in there, well, you made your choice.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
Best of luck to
Hopefully I
you.
see you in a week.
Yeah.
If you had to partner with anyone but Blackwell to survive Phantasma, which character would you pick?
Like of the devils.
Just anybody. Well, I would choose Sinclair. They seem pretty strong.
Of all of them, aside from Blackwell, I feel like Jasper seemed a little more trustworthy.
True.
Like he was still pretty like tricky, but he seemed the most trustworthy out of the other devils.
Yeah. He was still like, well, I guess he was like kind of like Blackwell's friend, I guess.
Yeah,
which
he
helped.
was kind of Blackwell's friend. One of them was the devil put him there was it Jasper or Sinclair to make sure that he like kind of watched him and made sure he lived out the sentence
That
for
was
a
Sinclair.
certain amount of time. Oh.
Yeah.
Sinclair.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I would have chose Cade. I mean, the guy made it. He's a cockroach that made it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, look at Jack Barlow.
Mm-hmm.
He also made it
He's a
very, very
cockroach.
fucking far.
And then just betray him later
And then
on.
betray him later. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
for
you're not
sure.
going to kill me.
Make sure you betray him before he betrays you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mhm.
Plan that out ahead of time. I guess last question. Ophelia survives the first few levels of Phantasma without Blackwell. Do you think she could have finished the game without him? If not, at which level would she have struggled most?
I think she could have made it,
Me too. I don't think he did much.
considering her abilities. The only one that he really helped in was the coin one, because he went to go see who chose what for the 1 or 2 coins.
Didn't he help her in Gluttony a lot, though, too? To figure out the maze thing?
Yeah, he told her like where to step at what time and et cetera, et cetera. So I guess that was pretty helpful. So maybe that's where she would have struggled with most.
Well, and obviously she wouldn't have been able to control her powers if he hadn't helped train her.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But this is like specifically asking in the trials.
I think
Like-
she could have made it.
I think she could have made it too.
I think she could have made it, but also with the whole thing of her not wanting to kill anybody. And she felt so guilty after the guy got killed because of a sudden, move.
Mm-hmm.
But he also, Blackwell was the one that told her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she gets in her head a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He helped her the most in the coin one
Yeah.
to make the right decision. I mean, to help her make her decision, I should say. Yeah.
I think she would have, in regards to that, even if she didn't know, she would have been the one to come out as a winner either way, I think.
1,000.
Yeah. She just would have been more guilty if she
Right.
had to choose Charlotte.
Now, if she wasn't in there with her locket, she's not making it.
She's not making it.
She wouldn't even make it past the first round.
No.
Right.
The locket that literally led her to the exit. Yeah. Not making it. All right. Well, that's all I had for questions. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to ask or add to this episode?
I wonder what this one, hold on, let me see really quick. Because they're basically saying for Enchantra, the tropes, right, is like fake dating, morally gray, fake relationship, all that.
Like what the category is for this?
Yeah.
You can't really say they're enemies to love. They're not enemies to lovers.
No.
Like a situational romance.
Fated mates, maybe?
Forced proximity. That's the one. Forbidden romance.
With a ghost. Well,
And
technically
he's a
devil.
morally gray love interest, but like, yeah.
Mm.
Forced proximity tropes are not, I don't really score them too high. I think they're okay, but I don't really, because you're like, oh, okay, well, we know that it's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Overall, I enjoyed it. And I am looking forward to reading the next one to see like how the author makes it different and makes it, I guess, entertaining in a different aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And like caters to the different set of characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It got a overall rating.
I think a 4.
Let's see. It was, 4.5.
Oh, okay.
And Enchantra also has a 4.5.
Okay.
So,
We'll see which one we end up liking better.
yeah.
I guess we will see.
So that was it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed us talking about Phantasma. We also did some live reading of the spicy chapters. We have started live reads on Twitch and TikTok live recently. So if you could, go ahead and head to our Instagram page or TikTok, we post our schedule on there.
Yep.
Like, comment, subscribe. If you've read the book, tell us what you think. And yeah, until then, embrace instability.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.